Welcome to Phase 2. Before we begin, I want to remind you of something important. In Phase 1, we explored the identity mirror. You began noticing the difference between the woman you learned to become and the woman you've been missing. Today, we're going to explore the question, when did I start disappearing? And I want to be very clear about something. This is not an exercise in blaming yourself. This is not about looking back and asking, what was wrong with me? This is about understanding yourself with compassion. Because the woman you are today did not disappear out of nowhere. She was shaped by experiences, relationships, responsibilities, moments where you learned what was safe, moments where you learned what was rewarded, moments where you learned what parts of yourself were easier for others to accept. And today, we are not here to criticize those moments. We are here to understand them because we cannot reclaim what we refuse to understand. So how this lesson works, every lesson inside Reclaim follows the same journey. We watch the video, learn the framework, and begin seeing your story differently. We understand, we open your Reclaim framework notes, and we explore the ideas behind today's lesson. We reflect, we complete your Reclaim journal, and give yourself space to tell the truth. We practice. We take one small action to begin reconnecting with yourself because awareness changes how you think, but participation changes how you live. Let's begin. So I want to start with something that I believe is true. Most women don't disappear because they stop mattering. They disappear because they start adapting. They learn, this version of me gets loved. This version of me gets accepted. This version of me creates less conflict. This version of me keeps everything together. And slowly, without even realizing it, they begin editing themselves. They become quieter. They become easier. They become more available to everyone else and less available to themselves, not because they don't have needs, but because somewhere along the way, they learned their needs could wait. The moment that we begin disappearing, I think disappearing rarely happens in one dramatic moment. It usually happens in small moments. So the first time you ignored your intuition, the first time you stayed silent to keep the peace, the first time you needed help but decided you would figure it out yourself, the first time you chose what was expected over what was actually true, the first time you thought, maybe it's easier if I just don't need anything. And eventually, those small moments became patterns. Those patterns became habits, and those habits began to feel like an identity. So I want to introduce you to a concept called the second list. Most women have a list they know very well. It's a list of who they became: strong, reliable, responsible, helpful, needed, capable. But there is another list, and that is the second list, the list of everything that became quieter. Your desires, your opinions, your dreams, your creativity, your needs, your curiosity, your voice, your joy. The second list isn't evidence that something is wrong. It's evidence that something inside you has been waiting to be acknowledged. And I want you to hear this clearly about why we adapt. The parts of yourself you learned to hide were not weaknesses. They were parts of you trying to protect you. Maybe your sensitivity became something you hid because people called you too emotional. Maybe your ambition became something you minimalized because it made others feel uncomfortable. Maybe your needs became something you ignored because you were praised for being independent. Maybe your voice became quieter because speaking up created conflict. Your adaptations were not random. They were responses. And when we understand the reason behind them, we can finally stop judging ourselves for having them. So open up your Reclaim journal and write, before everyone needed me. Take some time with these questions. Who was I? What did I love? What made me feel alive? What did I dream about? What parts of myself became quieter? What did I stop doing because life became too demanding? What parts of me have been waiting to be welcomed back? I want you to notice something. Many women look back at their past selves with frustration. They say, why did I allow that? Why did I become that way? Why didn't I speak up? But what if instead of judging that woman, we understood her? What if she wasn't weak? What if she was responding with the tools she had at that time? What if she was doing the best she knew with what she had? The goal is not to shame the woman who disappeared. The goal is to understand why she felt like disappearing was necessary. Because compassion creates the safety required for change. So this week, I want you to begin noticing moments when the old adaptation appears. Noticing is the practice. When you hear yourself think, I should just handle it myself, pause. When you feel yourself saying yes, when you really want to say no, pause. When you notice yourself shrinking to make someone else comfortable, pause. Ask yourself, am I choosing this from my truth or from an old adaptation? No judgment, just awareness. I want to leave you with this. You did not lose yourself. You adapted. You became what you needed to become. And that woman deserves compassion. But she does not have to be the only woman you allow yourself to be. There is a part of you that has been waiting for permission, waiting for safety, waiting for you to remember her. And today, you are beginning to remember.